All right, this is No Excuses with Michael DiLeonardo. I'm your host, RJ Roger. So, real quick, guys, before we start the show, this was not a pre recorded show done with ever the intent of being released publicly. This is the third time I've done this. Michael and I get into these discussions after a show or before a show, but I never stop the camera. I never stop the microphone because you never know what you're going to land on, right? So, this piece that you're going to hear, it's an edited piece from a larger discussion. You can even tell by the clothes that we're wearing. You saw these clothes in a previous show, okay? So, me and Michael, we were out before hanging out, and without saying too much, I had the opportunity to see the gangster come out of him. He's this nice guy, buys me champagne, treats me so kindly, drives me around in his luxury cars. He's a great guy. I used to always say, how's this guy the captain? How is he a captain in the Gambino family? He's just this nice, loving, gentle, soft guy. But I had a chance to see this guy's fucking crazy. Not completely. But, so one time I had the experience with Michael where I said, man, this guy could have been the boss. And that's what this discussion was about. What makes a tough guy? What does it mean to be a tough guy in the mob? Would Michael have been or even accepted the position of boss if ever given the opportunity? Here you go. Peace and love. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Much more to come. Peace and love. I'm RJ Roger. We were having that discussion. I turned around and said to myself, this guy really is a fucking gangster. like I just saw it in you. Like the first time, like I saw that like there's a gangster in you. Like a gangster does live inside of you somewhere. Like
and that's the difference between being comfortable and who or what you are.
Yeah.
And not have to wear the sunglasses, the cigar, the watch, and
yeah,
the bedroom. And no, if
yeah.
you want, I always wanted to be underestimated.
Yeah.
Intelligence wise, I didn't give it to them in the street.
Yeah.
People picked up. Oh, the kids, the older guys who knew me from when I was a kid. Yeah, they knew Michael. But later on in the street, you know what I mean, do for people. You want them to underestimate you. I sat down. I told you I would go to Paul's Club, 1976. Every fucking mobster all over. I just sit there and watch and watch. And I'd be there in my sneakers, my baseball, football outfit on. I'd sit there bar, have a little coffee. And as the older guys started to get to know me, where's this kid quiet? Who's this kid? This is this family there. And they sit down, they talk, and they test you. And they test you with stupid things. I told you about, hey, you go like this, you dive, all the old time, Nino and a couple other guys died.
Yeah.
About it, So a little test. So they give you the test, and it's in you. You don't have to be you don't have to act. Look, if you're gonna be in the street, you have to have something that's violent. We all got violence in us. Depends what position we're put in, right? So if you put yourself in a violent climate or an environment, you may see it more to somebody. When I play ball, you see the look you seen? When I played football, my hair was straight, right? As soon as I got on the field, my hair would go boing. It would curl. No kidding around. You touch me, you ever like static? You touch somebody?
Yeah.
You used to get shocked from me. No kidding around. It was like, what the fuck? I got shocked. I had so much coming out of me. I didn't talk to the whole offense. I played defense. I didn't talk to the whole offense the whole year. I told you I broke the quarterback's finger. Everybody's mad at me. The last exhibition game.
Yeah.
Well, it just that passion just comes out when it needs to come out, and I don't want it to come out. The violent end and bring violence upon, or the serious side. I don't want. I want to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
And that was the good part that I loved of that life, because the people that knew me, I didn't have to act that way, and then they didn't have to act that way with me, because we knew each other. We know what you're comfortable with. We don't have to, he killed that, kill you out of break. But I didn't talk like that. I still don't talk like that.
Is that the norm, or is that the minority? Like, Is that how most guys in that life are? Like they don't have to act like a gangster all day long, act tough all day long. They can just beat them. This is what.
I'll give you an example. Okay. All muscle guys have that thing about wearing tight stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the mob, though. You could be this little skinny guy like this big. You don't need muscle. The muscle you got to use right here. One in there. That's it. The little one. You know, you don't need to carry yourself that way. Like that. And then there was the other guys that were so sedate and calm. They spoke very low. I told you, Mr. Lilo, the old man Garofalo, right? He said, Mike, you want a little cookie? You want to take an espresso? You know, guy had fucking power of life and death. He's around 100 years, the friggin' bum. You know what I mean? He's a great guy. He don't have to sit there, Mike. Go ahead. Yeah, Mike, you would take some pastries home? No, Mr. Leo, I don't. No. Give me a box of pastries for Michael. What do you give me? I was associate captain. Right? That's different ways. You don't have to be that way. And that's how you get the love. That's why Jackie knows in him. Jackie adopted a lot of Mr. Lilo's character. And we could talk about that later on with Jack. But he adopted a lot of that from Mr. Lilo, the calm demeanor. You know, Jackie was more gregarious, a real more grown, I'm not going to say bombastic, but more out there, more fun. Mr. Lilo, he's old school. Carlo Gambino and Lilo like the same thing. As a matter of fact, they could look like they were brothers, appearance-wise. But the same demeanor. Joe Gallo, the same thing. Joe Gallo, calm, quiet guys. Now Neil has show presence. Neil, he wants to know I'm a gangster. The other guys can get lost in the crowd. Oh, what a nice old man.
Was Neil, but like, was Neil a nice guy? Like, did you like Neil?
I really never spoke or interacted with Neil. Hello and goodbye. That was it.
But like, how did he seem?
His presence was John. Serious, stern, but then I got the picture. It's on the internet. Him with a monkey, chimpanzee, with a whole bunch of girls in the bar. Let's head out. Somebody caught a picture. I'm sure he wasn't happy at that time with the picture when it came out. But that he's a regular guy. He'd be a regular guy. But when he was around the street, stern, real stern. He carried himself. And that's what John carried himself. Stern. That was his idol. It was Neil. John's idol. Yeah. It's just, I was fun loving. Maybe he forgot what I was. Forget about who, what. How do you think I got to be who I was and what I was?
But see, I didn't know.
By being a baseball player, John said, hey, Michael plays good softball. Let's make him a skipper. John wanted murderers. He wanted tough guys. He wanted guys with brains that could fight. What do you see when he says upward mobility? He says, here's a guy that could be pretty stern, has a brain, and I need him as a captain of the future to go fight with other families. That's what he's seeing.
Well, I've been researching you since I was a teenager. Even after I met you, I like talking to you on the phone and stuff. I used to always say, how's this guy captain in the Gambino family? How's this guy? Like, he's such a gentleman, such a nice guy. It's what Madeline said. She said, he would save cats and squirrels. Like, I can't see. But again, it was that day was the day I realized this guy could have been the boss of the family. He could have been the boss. This guy could have led the gangsters. I really feel that way now.
And that's when afterwards I was talk to the agents. They had me profiled.
You told me that, yeah. Yeah.
They had me profiled, and I said, "You're wrong. I want nothing with that position. Zero." But it's still.
You really mean that? Like, you would have never done the boss? Never would have done it.
Nope. Yeah, everybody else could have it. I don't want it.
But like, say like right now, it would have got to a point that you would have had no choice. If you were still in that life now,
you know what? My position, it was concierge. You have an enormous amount of influence with the boss, supposedly, right? And with other families, if they do by old school, they'll let you be the liaison and go straight. And you're an arbitrator. The captains, the boss is supposed to stay up there. He's not supposed to be doing all of that. Your concierge has some position because he's the one supposed to be level-headed, not like Sam. He want to kill everybody. That's not a concierge. It's a counselor. It's a lawyer. Concierge, counselor. So that person is supposed to be somebody who's almost like removed from the boss. He's the arbitrator, accountable to the boss, of course. But here's the guy who steps before the boss. Look, if you start here, what's the only way you could go? Down.
Yeah.
You can't go higher. So if you start with the conseiller, arbitrate things, and then he can negotiate with the boss on a different level.
But if the life gets to a point that a guy like Jackie knows, it steps in to make decisions, and he's acting boss or something. I think Pete Gotti put him in power or something. But it shows how the family didn't have the talent. Like, it was running out of old timers. It was running out of the guys who were cultured and schooled. And they would have needed you as they would have had to call on you at some point and said, "Hey, Mike."
Well, he did. John did. He did. He wanted me to take the job. I refused. He didn't.
No, I'm talking about boss. It would have came a point where they would have needed you because there was nobody there. Who was there to run the family?
Well, Nicky Carrazzo, he was looking to be the boss. Yeah, guys like if Jimmy Brown comes home from jail, Joe Butch, another guy who died. But those guys, Danny Marino, those guys wanted to be boss. All those guys aspired and could have been boss. In one.
Danny Marino?
Yeah, he aspired to be the boss. He could have, in his mind.
The guys ever talk like that? Like, one day I want to be boss, or guys would never even utter that word because it's a threat to the boss in many ways.
Well, I told you what Paulie Zac told me when I met John Gotti. That's how the boss. They uttered it, and Paul was just the boss. 3 years or 4 years. That's it. I said, we got a boss. We just got a boss. Where are we going? These are the things that go around your head, But Paulie seen something in the future. That's the future. See what John's seen in certain people, right? That's what he's seen. That's what Zach's seen in this young buck, John Gotti.
Yeah.
Upward mobility.
So guys just see it in you. Yeah, guys just, okay.
Those guys, look, they smell fear. John, look at you. That look in your eye, Neil, they smell fear. They look in your eye. Paulie Zac had the fucking bats too. When he looked at you, he melted you. Why? Yeah. The guy was super intelligent, smartest street guy I ever met, ever.
Paulie Zac?
Oh, yeah, by far. I didn't meet every street guy, so I can't say,
But all the guys you've known.
Yeah, smartest. Intellectually, smartest.
Wow.
Most well-read, educated. Went to college. He was a bomber, funeral director. He went to school for that. He passed. Paulie Zac could have been anything he wanted to be. He's a super intelligent guy. Like I said, waste of talent. He's just a degenerate gambler who fucked him up. Another guy could have been boss. Jerry Dogwell could have been boss, but Paulie was much smarter than Jerry. So these guys, when they had that look, they knew you. They knew what you had inside. You didn't have to be a big mouth. You didn't have to carry. That's what they in our group. See what Sammy said once about the Colombo family, the Gambino family. How the Colombo guys were like Gavones and this brash. And they've always been that. That's why they're always killing each other. John called them Cambodians. I think I told you that already.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
With the Gambino guys, they were suit and tie, walk around. That didn't make you any better, but it was more tranquil.
Yeah.
And you had the killers, absolutely, but on the whole, it was different, more quiet. But don't forget, out of all the captains we had, most of them were old. They were there forever. They were there from Albert. A lot of these captains, Manga. A lot of these captains were there from.
Isn't that where Jackie Knows?
Or their fathers were.
Wasn't Jackie Knows around since Albert?
Yeah, sure.
Jackie was up.
Yeah, but he didn't get made back then. He got made in the 70s when they opened up the book.
Yeah, but he was on record on the Albert, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine his story?
Albert was killed in 57, so that's 70 years ago.
All right, guys, again, an edited, unscripted show. We caught Mikey on a live mic. Personal discussion. Had to edit out a couple pieces, but largely the point is there. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments. Could Mikey have been boss? Consigliere? What was the better role for him? And what makes a tough guy in the mob? Is it big muscles, big tough guy? Or is it big muscles, big tough guy? What do you guys think? And by the way, okay, keep in mind, this channel is a mob theory channel. We discuss largely theory, psyche, perspectives on things, okay? We're not largely going to be telling a lot of stories, mob stories on this channel. Every now and then when you get one, Mikey slipped up. Because that's supposed to be the stuff for Patreon, okay? So Patreon's coming. Stay tuned. We're coming up here in a couple weeks. We got some good stuff prepared. So if you want to hear mob stories, storytelling, Michael telling stories, you got to go to Patreon. YouTube, you'll keep getting theories, perspectives, and ideas. All right? Peace and love. Like, subscribe, share. Tell your friends. Support the channel. Thank you, guys. Peace and love. I'm RJ Roger.